Hi everyone, so I filmed the following video about a week ago. I was attempting to save my Alocasia poly and haven't had much luck so far. I will give you an update at the end of what's actually going on with my Alocasia right now. For now, enjoy. Let me show you what I'm doing. So I got this Alocasia poly. I don't even remember how many leaves it used to have. I think it used to have at least 5 leaves. Now it's down to 2 and a bulb. So I got this Alocasia poly for, I think it was like New Year's Eve actually that I bought it, in Bend, Oregon, at a grocery store, a Safeway grocery store. So I kept this in its original pot, which for a while, because we were at this Airbnb for several days. And when I ended up getting home and finally taking it out of its pot, I had to cut the pot off and it was holding a shit ton of water. It was just full of water. I was like, oh my God, I bet I gave it root rot. So I got it out of the pot and I repotted it eventually. And I repotted it in a mixture. I think it was just like houseplant type soil. And then I mixed it a little bit with succulent soil, but I didn't actually like mix them together in a bowl ahead of time. I just kind of like put like half this and half that, and I think that was not a good idea because the potting soil was way too thick. It held water way too well. So even after repotting it still continued having root rot and I kept checking the soil. I'm like, man, this soil is still moist. It's never drying out. And I think it was because the potting soil just held way too much moisture. So anyway, this was the leaf that was attached to this guy. I think this was the oldest leaf. It looks real sad. Started to, like yesterday, I was like, oh, it's root rot. I thought like maybe it was just moist and it'll like eventually maybe it'll be fine, but no, there's still root rot. So what I did is I cut off the stem because what I did is I unpotted everything. I took out and like checked out the roots and was checking out the root of this one. And at the very base of the stem, now it's just the bulb, but at the very base of the stem, it was like mushy. And I was like, oh, like this is like gone. This leaf, it has to go. So I just cut it off and then I rinsed it with hydrogen peroxide, hoping that like if there is any fungal or whatever fungus stuff that's still on this root, like hopefully it will be taken care of. And then I washed this one in the water, just like rinse it off under the sink. And there's like some pieces that kind of fell off. And then I also rinsed it in hydrogen peroxide, just to, try to ensure that diseases and whatever won't kill it, hopefully. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pot this guy up. There's hardly any roots left in this one, so we'll see if he makes it. And then I'm gonna plant this one and see if it grows back. So I'll plant it up and I will give you updates to let you know if this actually works. I do have rooting hormone at my house too, so maybe I'll add some rooting hormone to it. Although right now would be the time to do that. So maybe in the future I'll add rooting hormone. But what I'm gonna do now is this is like not an exact science. I'm going to put in some perlite into a bowl. Perlite is really good for helping soil drain. Just some succulent potting mix, because succulent potting mix is a little better than just typical houseplant potting mix. This has it has sphagnum moss, sand perlite. Yeah, so it also has perlite, but I want to add even more perlite. So it guarantees my mix will drain. So here we are, and I'll show you what this looks like. So I'm just gonna kind of guess here, just pour a bunch in this bowl. Pour a bunch of this in the bowl. So like I think I put more perlite than I did soil. So sorry, I do need to get a better stand. But what I'm gonna do is just mix it together. The perlite is white looking and then the other soil looks like normal brown soil. But let me show you what this looks like. So this is what it looks like. So the white's the perlite and then the brown is just like the normal potting soil for succulents. And what I'm gonna do now is make a mess. So I'm just gonna pour a bunch of this in to start. And now I'm going to add my plants. So I'm gonna put this guy in here. I'm gonna let the top of my bulb get the fresh light so that if it does decide to grow, it won't have to work so hard to get through the soil to do that. Okay, so I'll show you what it looks like right now. And I'm going to add more soil. I'm not going to fill it up to the very brim because you're supposed to have some space so when you water the plant, there's like room for the water to sit. So now I'm just going to put the soil around the plant. I'm trying not to pat it down too much around the plant because I don't want it to be so compact where it doesn't drain. That's the whole point why I'm doing this, so I can help my plant come back to life and drain and breathe. A little bulb back in here. That's the nice thing about these is that the bulbs, like even if your leaves die off, as long as the bulb is fine and the roots are fine, it can come back. And there is one root on that bulb that's left that seems to be okay. So that's why I'm kind of hopeful that maybe I didn't ruin it, I didn't kill it for good. And hopefully the other plant, the other bulb, which is a young one, hopefully it can come back. Hopefully the roots can grow and get strong again. So, okay, so I'll show you what I have so far. So this is what I have. I'm gonna give it a good water, make sure, I'm gonna water it very slowly and make sure it drains well. Seems to be doing okay. I think I remember before when I watered it, it like filled up and like took a while to actually drain. And this doesn't seem to be doing that. So it's coming out the bottom. That's what, supposedly what you're supposed to do with most of your plants is water it until it comes out the bottom. And that way, because minerals build up in your soil from like the water and stuff, and so you're supposed to like let it run through so that way it can like flush minerals and salts and stuff out of the soil. So anyway, it's coming through. I keep all the plants in a nursery pot, and then I put my pots in a nice like ceramic pot that doesn't have a hole. And that way, if the plant really likes humidity, I add pebbles to the bottom of that pot and put water at the bottom. So it has like a little humidity tray with pebbles at the bottom it can sit on. And you want to make sure it doesn't sit directly in the water, just have the water beneath the pebble line. And it adds humidity. Feeling hopeful. I'm surprised this thing's still alive, actually. It's mid-February now, and so I've had this for like a month and a half. It's like been on the verge of death a couple times in this very short period of time that I've had it. So, so I'm not, yeah, I'm just kind of like hoping, trying this out and hoping that it will work. So anyway, this is what it looks like right now. These leaves don't look that great either. Yeah, so this is me trying to save my Alocasia poly, and I'll let you know how this goes later. I'll give you some updates, and thank you for watching. And you know, this is my, like, I've never done like YouTube stuff before, so if you have any questions or thoughts or comments about anything, let me know. Like if anyone has ever dealt with Alocasia polys and root rot, or just Alocasias in general and root rot, and you've tried to save them, let me know what you've done and what's helped. So, thank you for watching, and I will be back and give you an update later. Well, as you can see, my Alocasia poly is not doing well, but there's still hope for this other bulb. I've never grown an Alocasia from its bulb, so if you have, please let me know what your experience has been, because I want to make sure I try to give it the best shot of survival. Thank you so much for sharing this journey with me. I really appreciate having this kind of community to be able to grow with and to learn from, and I really appreciate you joining me. So I'll see you next time. Oh God. The pot kind of broke a little bit on the side.